Hey everybody, so I'm hearing from a lot of people that they don't want to invest in a full Ravagers team since you got to build up 5 members for this team because most people left the Ravagers at the wayside. And you have teams like Uncanny with just Majik coming in, you have a little bit of investment already in those other Uncanny members. Or we have this new Young Avengers team where you might have a little bit put into those 3 that are going to remain on that team. Or even presumably this new Supernatural slash Midnight Suns, whatever they're going to rebrand it to. You're only going to need to build 2 new members for that. So if you count that up, literally for the cost of building a Ravagers, you could have built those 3 teams instead, presuming that you had a little bit of investment in who's going to be with them to start off. So with that said, I thought, well, a lot of people are getting T'Challa anyway, and they're excited for T'Challa, so let's find a way to keep him useful in war where he excels at, and I think I found a great team for you. And I'm going to call this team the Skilled Ravagers. And just jumping into it real quick, I'll give you a quick breakdown, but the footage is going to speak for itself. So for Hawkeye and Black Widow, both skirmishers, they don't need any T4s, but if you start putting T4s on them, the potential for this team really excels. Then we're going to have Yondu as a striker, everything but his basic we want T4'd. Star-Lord T'Challa, we want him as a skirmisher, unless we have like 5 yellow, 5 red star. Then we can switch him to a striker and really eat up his potential because his damage stat is crazy. And for him, we're going to want everything but the basic T4 as well. Finally, we have Red Guardian, and we're going to want him as a healer. I have him as a fortifier, but healer would be better in this comp, and we only need his passive done. And the way I have it laid out here, guys, is how you're going to want it laid out as placement. It's going to be tempting to put Black Widow beside T'Challa so you can steal that stealth, but you're not going to need that off the bat, and I would rather hide my Hawkeye in a corner. Anyway, I'm going to show you my team just so you can see what I'm working with because I did kind of block out everything in the video, unfortunately. So we have Hawkeye. He's not even level 65 yet. He's gear tier 11. He's not ISO 5 green. That would huge boost for him. He has no T4, so he is still a baby. Then we have Black Widow. She's gear tier 13, so she's level 70. Also not level 5 green ISO, and she has no T4s in her as well. And then we have my Yondu. My Yondu is huge at 7 red, 7 yellow. I will say though, this team will work at 5 red star Yondu and 7 gold star. Obviously you should have that by now, unless you're a newer player. And that's going to work just as well here, especially if you start having a bigger T'Challa. My T'Challa is 3 red, 3 yellow, level 83. He's missing 1 part for gear tier 15, and he does have all those T4s. I do have him as a skirmisher, like I said before, because the star level just doesn't quite mesh for me yet. Then we have Red Guardian. My Red Guardian's actually pretty beefy, just because I used to use him in Doom 1.1. So he's level 80, gear tier 15. He has his special and his passive T4. You don't need the special. And like I was talking earlier, he's a fortifier, but I wish he was a healer for this matchup. Let's go ahead and look at teams that this monster team with very low investment beats. And that's huge list. This list is so long. So we have Symbiotes at 100k punch up, Wave 1, Sinister 6 also 100k punch up, Skilletary a little bit less because you do have to eat the Punisher and Yelena opening because likely their Red Guardian's going to be hidden. Then we're going to have Inhuman Coulson, and this is where it starts getting a little bit more interesting, and this is where I'll start the footage off. So Inhuman Coulson, about 75k punch up, Fantastic Four, 150k punch up, Brotherhood, Doom, punch across. Now, if you want to start itching towards a punch up, we're doing the bigger Brotherhood teams, because Doom is going to be what Doom is. He's probably going to be gear tier 15, level 85, but those Brotherhood members are who you need to get around to get to the Doom. So, if they're going to be a bigger Brotherhood Doom team, you're going to want your Hawkeye and your Black Widow to be a lot bigger and have more focus. You're going to want them to be ISO Blue, 3 skirmishers, and you're definitely going to want that Hawkeye special and passive done, and Black Widow passive, because the way the assist mechanic goes with 2 skirmishers, you'll probably be able to peel through that peel through that blob, so you can rewind the Juggernaut before he even starts taunting. And then we have Majik Uncanny. I was surprised how well this did. 100k punch up for that. And finally, Web Warriors, about 150k punch up, which was surprising as well. You're going to see why that is in the footage. Now, all this footage is practice mode, so take these numbers not with a grain of salt because they are an educated guess, but for your first time doing these attacks, maybe dial it back a little bit. Get a feel for how it goes, practice it for sure, and then let me know how you think about it. I think it's going to be great. I think a lot of people are going to be able to make use out of Star-Lord T'Challa should they try this route. So let's go ahead and get into the footage. Alright guys, so to start this off, I'm going to take them on against one of the more weaker, more pushed out defensive teams from this list that I just showed you. We're going to start with the Inhuman Coulson team featuring Doc Ock. Let's go ahead and jump in there. Now, I've done this match about 10 times. I won all 10 times. Some were a little sketchier than others, but they were all wins. It was very close sometimes with Black Bolt about to special somebody, but it never actually happened. And I will say right off the bat, my Yondu is very, very big, and that is going to affect how this match goes. So, if you want to make sure your summons survive, I guess you would come over here and do that. And that's going to rewind the crystal, which is going to let my Red Guardian get defense up on everybody before she uses her special. So they'll live. So that's how you can do that. And you'll notice a big reason for our positioning here, Black Widow just buffs the crap out of Red Guardian. And if I so wanted to, I could use this ability right here, or I can go ahead and put a blind and steal some energy out there, so I could do that to Coulson to stop him from doing his thing, and that's exactly what we're going to do. He resisted it, but that's still going to be fine, because look at that defense down. Now that is a 3 red, 3 yellow T'Challa. It's just insane. Now the Yondu summons do an incredible amount of damage, and their kits are just insane. So we'll go ahead and do this. That's 20% damage, and then he's just gone. It's nuts. I'll go over here, I'll rewind the crystal again. There you go. And here comes the defense up, so by the time Crystal does her thing, I'm going to be perfectly fine. We'll get some blinds out there. If we land a blind on Yo-Yo, then this is super quick and done. I do have a very small Hawkeye, so it's not guaranteed that that's going to go. But we did get a blind on Crystal, so our minions are extra, extra safe now. And I'll go ahead and I'll just start beating up on Black Bolt. You can kind of just like pick and choose you're going to mess up in this matchup. It's very funny. We land a stun on Yo-Yo. You don't need that to win here. It'll stop the offense down, though, which is nice. See those Yondu boomers just doing so much damage. And here comes my big Yondu, so a big Yondu is definitely beneficial here. And let's go ahead and use that ult. That's going to just, like, speed T'Challa up as so much. We're going to go ahead and start beating up on Crystal. I guess we'll go for Yo-Yo. We could go for Doc Ock here too, and just beat him through the offense down spamming. Let's get some speed. Flips. Not too bad. We'll go ahead and attack here. Yondu is about to do another summon. So we're going to have even more minions out on the field, or summons on the field rather. And you see my Hawkeye is probably going to die just by virtue of being as weak as he is. And I just don't need him to win. There's Striker Yondu doing his thing. Here's a turn meter rewind. Ability block, even though he's not about to use an ability anyway. Oh no, my Hawkeye. I love Hawkeye. I'm very excited to level him up based on what this team in particular is capable of. Let's throw this on auto, because obviously Doc Ock can be problematic with just how much times he blocks and heals. But in the face of Yondu summons and T'Challa doing T'Challa stuff, he's not going to last very long. Just the summons do so much damage. I know I have a 7 red Yondu, so I'm a little biased though. So this is another pretty crazy use for them. 220k punch up against a Fantastic Four She-Hulk. Not a lot of people have a She-Hulk team built this high up, but they can become very crazy on war defense. They have a breaking point you got to hit for them to be useful. But once you get there, it's pretty crazy. Anyway, what we'll do is we'll rewind off the middle group here, making sure we hit Johnny Storm and Sue Storm. Those two are the most important to hit. If I had to choose, I would still go for Sue, though, and I would just eat the Johnny Storm special. And go ahead and... That's just so insane, the damage that it does. It doesn't make any sense. Alright, she's dead already. Who will I rewind? I'll rewind Johnny Storm here. I'm going to taunt. That's going to make sure that Johnny Storm hits my Red Guardian. I'll throw blinds out there, not that it matters. We'll start beating up on She-Hulk. And you see my Red Guardian just eating up all these attacks like it's nothing. With his defense up, he's really good for that. We'll stun the She-Hulk so she can't throw everything back at us. And we'll finish her off here. Yondu barely even had to rely on his ultimate for this matchup, which is crazy. The assist from Boomer takes that out. Alright, so this is a 220k punch-up. That was like a flawless victory in Mortal Kombat kind of style. Just insane. So for this Brotherhood Doom team, this is also going to work very, very easily. I could sub out Red Guardian for this one. It's not that big a deal. I'll keep him in just to keep the team the same. But you can absolutely use Ravager Boomer, Ravager Stitcher, basically anybody, really. And of course, this is not as big a punch-up, so it's not as impressive. If you want to take out the big Brotherhood Dooms, I think you're going to need a bigger Hawkeye. Because you're going to see here, and especially that the passive T4 on Hawkeye. I don't have that done, so his focus, he's not a level 5 skirmisher yet either. So you see this is unavoidable, so he doesn't care about the blind, but he's probably not going to peel that taunt off. Yeah, he didn't get the peel on the taunt. So I need to get him up to level 5. But as you see, we still have a lot of buffs to steal from Red Guardians, so let's go ahead and do that. We'll see if our skirmisher can pull it off. Skirmisher didn't pull it off either. But again, not the end of the world. We're probably just gonna end up killing the blob here to get over to our Doom buddy. You see all those assists. So if Blackwood and Hawkeye were bigger, I think I get through this very, very quickly. We'll rewind the Juggernaut. That lets my Star-Lord get in there. He lands the blind, puts defense down on everybody, steals some energy, and when Yondu goes, Yondu's gonna kill, most likely kill Doom here. Oh, almost killed Doom, not quite. Let's go ahead and let T'Challa get the love tap in. So you see mechanically how it works. Obviously with bigger jugs, bigger blob, you need bigger Hawkeye and Black Widow. Now this next one is probably my favorite. It is only a 90k punch-up, but another answer to Uncanny is awesome because we see a lot of Uncanny in War on Defense, and just the fact that we can only use 2 of the new characters and a bunch of underwhelming old characters that have kind of been pushed out of the meta because of the way mercenaries work is very exciting to me. So let's get in there and let's watch how it works. Comes down to Hawkeye. Like I've been saying for a while now, Hawkeye is the answer to the Ravagers' problems. So we get that speed up. Oh, that's pretty good RNG on T'Challa and Yondu. Without that, it still works. Because what we did is we just rewinded the Storm and the Phoenix. And what we're going to get to do now is steal energy from Storm, put blind on her, defense down on everybody. Looks like it was resisted from Colossus over here. Not surprising with that defense up. And let's go ahead and... well, maybe we can try to steal the defense up. Probably not going to work again. Very small Black Widow. We'll start beating them up with our big attack abilities here. We'll rewind him and the Phoenix. Put an ability block on Phoenix so she doesn't suck everybody up. We'll put blinds out there. Poor Hawkeye. I'm definitely sacrificing him to the greater good on these matchups. I'm excited to build him up higher so he lives a bit longer. And here comes the death blow to the team. Kills everybody but Majik. There goes Colossus. We're going to go ahead and let Phoenix do her thing, because otherwise we're just going to have to kill a second Phoenix thereafter. I guess we can stun her. So you can see how this is just like an amazing counter to this. Again, I might be a little biased just because of the big Yondu, but I think this is a really good answer for people who only want to build up a couple Ravagers. And if you had to choose a third Ravager, I think it'd be Boomer. And this team would kind of evaporate there because a big part of this team is stealing Red Guardian's buff straight away with your T'Challa. Anyway, let's go look at one more. So this one is going to be the biggest punch up, nearly 300k. I know a lot of people are having a hard time with the Web Warriors. I personally don't, because of one particular mechanic of abilities, and that is unavoidable damage. So I've been using my Uncanny team and Storm Specials unavoidable. Whoever gets stunned, I go ahead and kill. But other people have been having, I guess, worse luck than I. Maybe I'll get that bad luck soon, to eat my words. But this team in particular has 2 unavoidable abilities, and because we get to go first, we're not worried about anything here. So I got a nice rewind that is unavoidable. Let's go ahead and use it over here. Let's summon these minions. And now Yondu's special is also unavoidable. So we're going to get the blind and the buff for the energy steal from the Gwen. So she's pretty useless now. And the reason we want to put the blind on her is because we want to kill her. Her passive, where she does a bunch of damage when people hit her, or hit any Web Warrior, is super annoying. So having blind on her and being able to rip her apart before she does anything is great. I guess we can do this. So Gwen's already dead. Yondu's going to come in with his ult soon, and if they don't dodge, they're all dead. Should have targeted somebody else to get more vulnerables out there, but that's okay. So there goes Miles. We're going to steal a bunch of nice buffs here. I guess we could go for... Spider-Man's about to use his ultimate. We got a stun up. Yeah, let's stun the guy with the... Oh. Dodging is, of course, an issue with this team. Can happen. The blinds from Hawkeye are pretty nutty, though. So many dodges. Insane. Let's get speed up out there. Kill the Spider-Man. Red Guardian's about to give us a big heal, so I'm not too worried. And if you want to put your Red Guardian as a healer for this comp, I think that's a great idea as well. Poor Hawkeye. Get rid of the dodge. And you can see now why we went for Gwen. Because we're getting just really messed up by these dodges, Gwen would just be eating us alive. So there you go. 300k punch up, and you saw the amount of dodges this team just got against me. So this was actually pretty bad RNG, and we're still going to get through it perfectly fine. Even Hawkeye survived this one. I'm not sure if that's legal. There you go. Hope you like this video, guys. I hope that if you're not going to build the full Ravager team, but you do want to invest in Yondu, that this gives you an option for a low-cost offensive team, especially if you're in a mid-range alliance where most of the defensive teams you fight around the 600k level. This team is going to be great for you. You invest a lot in T'Challa and a lot in Yondu, and you can bring those 3 skilled characters up to like level 75, gear tier 12, and you'll probably be able to get away with it. But anyway, if you did like this video, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.